another lesson of Too Good for Drugs. I hope everybody's had a great week and staying healthy and staying safe. And we're back. And so let's do a quick review on lesson 6, which was the alcohol lesson. Now, with alcohol, we talked about the effects it has on your body and how it can affect your goals. And we also talked about how beer, wine, and liquor contain the same amount of alcohol. They pack the same punch. And it's always good to remember that it's not the type of alcoholic beverage, but it's the alcohol that's consumed that's what affects your body. Now, today we're going to talk about another drug that's highly addictive. With that being said, before we talk about that drug, we're going to give some alarming statistics. Now, the first statistic is that over 14,748 people are murdered every year. That's a big, big number. And with that also, over 24,000 people are in car crashes, and they die in car crashes. That's another alarming fact. Now, what do you think causes more deaths than car crashes and murder combined? You're right. If you guess tobacco, you're right. Tobacco-related diseases. Over 443,000 people die every year of tobacco-related diseases. That's a big statistic, isn't it? Now, there are many tobacco products. Many tobacco products. And with that being said, the first tobacco product we're going to talk about is cigarettes. Now, cigarettes are mostly the most commonly used tobacco product. And they contain the finely chopped tobacco, and many of the ingredients in cigarettes, are not listed, such as you have formaldehyde, which is used to preserve dead bodies. You have ammonia, which is a household chemical. You have carbon monoxide, which is in gas. And you also have tar, which is in tires. These are all ingredients that is listed in cigarettes, which you don't see because they hide the ingredients. Also, we have cigars, which is made out of tobacco, whole tobacco leaves. And cigars are stronger than cigarettes. And smoking one cigar is equivalent to smoking a whole pack of cigarettes. Next, we have pipe tobacco. And pipe tobacco is roughly ground and often fruit flavored. It may smell like cherries, apples, or cinnamon. But no matter how sweet it smells, it's still tobacco and it's toxic to your body. Next, we have chewing tobacco, and it's usually made of tobacco leaves that have been damaged by insects. For example, chewing tobacco contains molasses syrup to disguise its bitter taste. And finally, we have dip, which is a fine powder made from ground tobacco leaves and stems. And it may be sold in a loose flat can, and most times users place it between their lip and their gums. Now, no matter how they are packaged or flavored, tobacco products contain a chemical that causes people to become addicted. And that chemical is called nicotine. Now, nicotine is a very addictive drug. And like all addictive drugs, the brain is telling you that you need this drug, even though your body is showing the effects that this drug is bad for you. Now, some people, you may know, have used tobacco products, and they may use it before they knew it was dangerous. But you know now that tobacco products are bad for you, so it's good to be smart and don't start. Now, a lot of things happen to the body soon after someone decides to use tobacco products. And a lot of short-term effects happen. And short-term is a thing that's within a day, a week, or a few weeks. Now, there's many things that can happen as a short-term effects of tobacco products. We have bad breath. No one wants to be around somebody with bad breath. Yellow teeth. Stinky clothes. Gross gums. And finally, hacking cough. Now, nicotine and the tar stick, the smoker's teeth and tongue causes bad breath. Now, who would like to be around someone with bad breath and gross gums? And most people who smoke cigarettes have stinky clothes. And that's another short-term effect of tobacco products. And tobacco smoke contains chemicals that irritate the lungs, which can cause long-term effects of the body. Now, right now we're going to talk about long-term effects of tobacco products. Cancer is irregular uncontrolled cell growth. Now with tobacco products, especially with using smokeless tobacco products, which is dip and chew, you can get mouth cancers. And usually the first signs of mouth cancer is white patches around the mouth. Next, another long-term effect is lung cancer. Now, lung cancer is uncontrolled cell growth within the lungs. And the more a person smokes, the greater chance the person will develop lung cancer. Emphysema is another lung disease that tobacco smokers may develop. And when a person has emphysema, the air sacs in the lungs burst. And that what carries oxygen in the lungs are destroyed. And the lungs can't take as much oxygen or expel as much oxygen as it regularly can, so they need an oxygen tank to carry in oxygen. Now, with that being said, right in my hand I have a Clem's phlegm jar. Now, this jar contains the amount of phlegm of a smoker with COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, would cough in about 2 weeks. And this is a whole 2 weeks worth of real phlegm. Pretty disgusting, right? Now, a tobacco user also may develop heart disease. Now, nicotine in the body can cause the heart to beat faster than normal, and the blood vessels get smaller. And the heart has to work much harder to push the blood through the smaller blood vessels. Now, some people don't realize how much the decisions can affect their ability to reach their goals and affect their futures. And if you smoke cigarettes or use tobacco products, they can diminish your goals and your future. Now, in spite of the well-known harmful effects of tobacco products, people choose to smoke and dip anyway. And some will say everybody does it. So let's find out the statement, if this is true or not. So I want you to guess at home how many students your age you think use tobacco products. I want you to try to take a guess at that. And you might be surprised that only 12% of kids your age use tobacco products. So when someone says everybody does it, that's not the case, only 12%. But that number can also be lower. Now, not everybody around you, including your friends, will choose to be tobacco free. And some of your friends may want you to use tobacco products. So they might want you to join them. So I want to go over a few scenarios. And I want you to think of the peer pressure strategies we've been talking about. So with each scenario, I want you to think about what would you do and what would you say. All right? So for the first scenario, you are standing at the bus stop. Your friend pulls something out of his backpack and says, "I stole a pack of cigarettes from my dad. Want one?" What would you do? What would you say? Next, you're spending the night with a friend whose parents have gone for the evening. While you're watching a movie, your friend's older sister offers you a cigarette. What would you do? What would you say? Next, while walking to your next class, your friend says, "I don't want to go to math class. Skip class with me and we can try some dip I took from my mother. She uses it all the time." What would you do? What would you say? Now, for in-home activity, I want you to think of, let's say, an advertiser comes up to you and wants you to promote a tobacco product. But you know the long-term and short-term effects of tobacco use. I want you to act like you're writing a letter to that advertiser and tell them 5 or 10 facts of tobacco use and why you feel like it's not good to promote their tobacco products. And if you find yourself in these type of situations and the road to reaching your goals, then remember to be smart and don't start. It's your decision not to use tobacco. So next week, we will learn about another drug which some people have high expectations for.